We conclude another incredible week, Baruch Hashem, of learning tefillah 5 minutes a day with this fabulous sefer. So many people, Baruch Hashem, are coming to love Shearim Shearim b'tefillah. It's marvelous how literally every page, every 2-3 pages that we learn daily have a mashal, have a powerful line, that's a line that just talks to us, that we repeat, and it slowly, I hope, is changing us, the feeling, etc. And we learned yesterday a very difficult mashal. Why is it difficult? It sounded so simple. If I blindfold a person and I move him from place A to B to C, is he in a different place? The answer is yes. So too, said Shearim Pinkus, when I stand in front of the King of Kings, you're in a different place. Beautiful. There's one problem. When the person is blindfolded, could he feel that he's in a different place? Obviously, if you're outdoors, you're indoors. But if you move from one room of the palace to the next room, it's true. The reality has changed. You're now standing in front of the king. Yes. And a moment ago, you were standing outside the king. It's a reality. It's real. But is that tangible? We're saying words that it's tangible. And we're explaining that it's a physical reality, like one without blindfold standing in front of a king. But says Shearim Pinkus, there's a problem here. There's a very difficult problem that this is not something you actually could feel or you actually could see. And he says, and therefore, to come to this level of hargasha, this needs emunah. We need to believe. If we don't have emunah, unfortunately, you're not going to get it. It makes a lot of sense logically. And when we tell the guy with the blindfolds, you're now standing in place A, in place B, in place C. It makes sense. And if that guy trusts you, he has emunah in you, that you are telling him the truth, then he can feel the tangible reality that he's now standing in place A or B or C in front of the king. But if not, then he doesn't. So too, if we believe, and says Shearim Pinkus, I sure hope we believe, because this is brought down by the Nevi'im, this is brought down in the Gemara, this is brought down in Shulchan Aruch, that Tefillah Shemona Esrei is ka'omed lifnei hamelech, and the halacha is a reality, so we have to believe it. And he says, if you're not going to believe it, a very powerful line, and he says, if you just think that it's poetic, it's inspiration, the Shulchan Aruch is trying to, paint you a nice picture, but it's not actually real. Come on. He says, you know what? You can wipe away everything with that statement. No, if the Shulchan Aruch writes, based on the Nevi'im, based on the Gemara, that it's ke'oimed lifnei hamelech, that's a reality. It's a difficult reality because we can't feel it, we can't see it, just like that blindfolded person. But when you tell the blindfolded person, and if he trusts you and you trust him and you tell him where he is, then he can actually work on feeling it. So what we have to do is we have to take in and understand, yes, it's a reality. Yes, it's real. And now it's where we have to have a bit of emunah so that we can come to this place and feel the truth. He parenthetically points out that there's a little bit of a question. He points out the question, so I think it's worthwhile mentioning because someone might be bothered by this. He says, 1 second, doesn't Hashem fill up the whole world? Kol ma'alei kol haaretz. Kivaydai. So what does it mean that Shemoneh Esrei is in front of him? He's everywhere. This is a very good question. This is a question that children often ask, not in exclusion to adults, but children often are told, Hashem is in the shul, Hashem is in the Beis Medrash. What do you mean? Hashem is everywhere. And it's a very good question. And he says, it's something to think about. He doesn't really deal with that question right over here. But he concludes and he says, if we start to believe, if we start to learn, if we start to understand, you know what should happen? The etzem maimid of tefillah should bring a person to, on one hand, moira gadol, great trepidation. The king is literally in front of me. But on the other hand, a simcha atzuma. The great king is whom I'm talking to. V'yizaneg bazeh. And you should revel in this, that you're standing and you're mitbayik, you're connected to Hashem. And he says, V'efsher lahalois haregesh hazeh aleksaf. You can't actually describe this incredible feeling, a feeling, he writes, that anyone in their life has ever felt it. is a tainug hanifla mikol tanugei olam hazeh. You could see in these words of Shimshon Pincus a real yid, a real gadol that has felt that feeling. And for the rest of us, we work on ourselves. We try to understand, we try to contemplate, we try to put it inside us. We have the emunah, we understand it. And slowly but surely, hopefully, we'll to get to that place of connection, that it's a reality, it's tangible, it's real. Hashem is in front of us, and hopefully slowly we'll be able to feel it as well.